Mobile gaming feels even better with a controller, turning your phone into a true handheld console. Today, I've picked 10 amazing Android and iOS games with full controller support that deliver the smoothest gameplay in 2026. If you enjoy discovering the best mobile games, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Now, it's time to jump into the countdown. Alright, let's kick off our list with game number 10, Aniimo. I'll be honest, I expected another generic monster catcher, and this one won me over. You're dropped into this massive open world called Idyll, and the moment I plugged in a controller, it clicked. Aiming those Anipods to catch creatures actually feels like a skill instead of a menu tap. There's a floating sky city where you run into other trainers, and the analog stick makes exploring it so much smoother than swiping around on a tiny screen. What got me was how the creatures you find change with the weather and time of day, so every session with the controller felt like a fresh little expedition. It's free to play, which usually makes me nervous, but I didn't feel pressured into spending a dime. If you love creature collectors and you've got a controller lying around, Aniimo is a genuinely comfortable way to sink a few hours in. Up next at number 9, we've got Mr. Hopp's Playhouse, and man, this one caught me off guard. It's the 4th game in this indie horror series, and it goes back to that grainy 2D pixel art style that makes everything creepier. The story follows a mother named Kaya, whose daughter brings home an old rabbit toy, and things spiral into an unsettling mix of grief and something far darker underneath. Playing it with a controller actually added to the dread. Moving through those tight, shadowy hallways with a thumbstick felt slower and more deliberate than tapping the screen, and that slowness makes the tension hit so much harder. There's a new threat this time called Mr. Ruffle, and I won't spoil anything, but he unsettled me more than I expected from a mobile game. If you're into story-driven horror that takes its time, this is worth clearing an evening for. Game number 8 is Cars Royale, and honestly, this is the one I've put the most hours into this month. If you've ever wished you could play car soccer on your phone, this nails it. You boost, launch into the air, and smash a giant ball into a net, and with a controller, the whole thing feels tight in a way touch controls just can't match. The analog stick gives you real control over your angle mid-air instead of guessing and hoping. There are a few different modes, my favorite being bomb mode, where the ball turns into a countdown you're desperately trying to pass off before it blows up in your face. Demolition Derby is pure chaos in the best way. Real-time matches against players worldwide keep things competitive without ever feeling unfair. For anyone who misses couch sports games but wants it in their pocket, this is a controller win. Up at number 7, we're slowing things way down with Tiny Bookshop, and I needed this after all the chaos of the last game. This is a cozy management sim where you run a secondhand bookshop by the sea, stocking shelves, chatting with locals, and just existing in this calm little world. I wasn't sure a controller would even add much to a game like this, but honestly, kicking back on the couch and navigating menus with a thumbstick instead of hunching over my phone made it feel more like a relaxing evening activity than another thing on a screen. It's made by a small team who clearly love books, and you can feel that care in every little detail of the shop. There's a free 3-day trial before it's a single one-time purchase, no ads, no microtransactions pulling at you. If you need a low-stakes game to unwind with after work, this one's a genuinely sweet little escape. Number 6 on the list is HeadHunters, and this is where things get delightfully stupid in the best way. You play as a rolling head that can attach to different bodies to steal their weapons and abilities, and jumping between bodies mid-fight while your friends are yelling at each other is exactly as chaotic as it sounds. This game was basically made for a controller. Bouncing and dashing around the arena with real analog movement makes the physics-based combat feel so much more precise than swiping ever could. You can play with up to 4 people, either online or crammed onto one couch, and honestly, the couch version is where the real chaos happens every single time. Swapping bodies to counter whatever your friend just grabbed becomes a fun little arms race every round. If your friends like their multiplayer loud and a little dumb, grab some controllers and try this together. At number 5, we've got Fight Legends, a medieval combat game that scratches a very specific itch. You pick a class, knight, ninja, or warrior, and work your way through offline campaigns and PvP arenas, upgrading your gear and unlocking new combos as you go. I'll admit the touch controls felt a little cramped for a game this combat heavy, but the moment I switched to a controller, everything clicked into place. Blocking, dodging, and chaining attacks together suddenly felt like a real fighting game instead of button mashing on glass. There's a decent variety of enemies and weapon types to unlock, and the limited time events give you a solid reason to keep coming back for better armor. It's not going to reinvent the genre, but if you're after a straightforward medieval brawler you can play offline with a controller, this one gets the job done just fine. Game number 4 is Punch Kick Duck, and I'll be honest, the name alone made me laugh before I even opened it. It's built around a rock, paper, scissors style system. Punch beats kick, kick beats duck, duck beats punch, and you're fighting your way up a tower to confront the Baron who locked you up in the first place. What surprised me is how well this simple system translates to a controller. Instead of tapping 3 buttons on a cramped screen, having your moves mapped to a controller makes the timing feel snappy and satisfying, and landing a read on an enemy actually feels earned every time. There are 3 difficulty levels, so it's not just for hardcore players, and the character designs have a charm that makes even getting hit kind of funny. From the creator of Shoot the Moon, this is a tight score chaser that's perfect for quick controller sessions. Coming in at number 3, we have Phantom Tower, and this one pulled me in way longer than I expected. It's an action roguelike where your goal is climbing all 100 floors of this mysterious tower, and every run feels different because of how the elemental combos work. Mixing your class's elements to trigger reactions is genuinely the difference between surviving a floor and getting wrecked. Playing this with a controller made the combat feel so much more fluid, dodging and chaining elemental attacks with a thumbstick and shoulder buttons instead of tapping icons on a screen. Along the way, you unlock glyphs that open up hidden abilities, and you're constantly forging new gear from monster drops, so there's always a reason to push one more floor. It's got that classic roguelike hook where you tell yourself just one more run, and suddenly it's 1 AM. Number 2 on our list, and we're into genuinely great territory now, is Don't Starve Together. If you've never played it, this is the multiplayer survival game where you and your friends get dropped into a strange, gloomy world and have to figure out how to gather resources, build a base, and just not die, basically. I've played this on PC for years, so I went into the mobile version skeptical, but with a controller, it honestly holds up better than I expected. Managing your inventory and crafting menus is so much less fiddly than tapping through them on a touchscreen. There's real charm to the cartoonish, slightly unsettling art style, and the character variety means everyone in your group can play completely differently every session. Surviving together with friends, scrambling to build shelter before night falls, hits just as hard here as it does on console. And here we are at number 1, the game I genuinely can't stop thinking about, Caravan SandWitch. This is a slow, gorgeous exploration game set in a sci-fi version of Provence, where you're driving your van trying to figure out what happened to your missing sister. There's no combat, no death, no timer chasing you. It's just you, the open road, and a world worth soaking in. Playing this with a controller feels like how it was meant to be experienced. Steering your van across the terrain with an analog stick instead of touch controls turns the whole thing into something closer to a genuine road trip. You upgrade your van as you go, opening up new areas and ruins to explore, and every conversation with the people on Sigalo adds another piece to this quiet, personal mystery. If you want one game here to just sit back with a controller and get lost in, make it this one, honestly. And that's our controller-ready lineup for today. Which game impressed you the most? Tell us in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. All game links are in the pinned comment, and be sure to check out our previous videos. See you in the next one!